Hey guys, what's going on? GFX here, and today I'm going to be going over another Photoshop tutorial. In this tutorial, I'm going to be showing you guys how to create this really sweet but basic loading bar animation effect. Now, it's going to be a very good tutorial to watch if you have never messed with the animation feature in Photoshop or didn't even know one existed. So this is going to give you a very basic insight at some of the features of the animation option and also help you get a better grasp on it. So let's go ahead and get started on this tutorial. The first thing you want to do is bring up a new document. Just try Control N. I'm using the width and height of 800 by 50. Now you want to keep your width generally long because it is going to be a loading bar. However, your height you want to keep around 50 or 60 because a loading bar generally does not have that tall of a height. So go ahead and hit enter on that. So the first thing we want to do is open up our animation option. So go ahead over to Window and then select Animation. And once you have that selected, you will see your little animation bar pop up on the bottom of your Photoshop document. So the first thing we want to do is create a new layer, and we're going to leave our background layer as white and leave it locked for now. Now the reason why we're going to be leaving it as white is because we're going to add some text in there that's also going to be white. Now as the loading bar loads across the screen, it will make it look like as if the loading text is popping up. So what we're going to do is after we have our layer 1 created, we're going to head over to our gradient tool. We're going to make sure we have our radial option selected. And for colors, I'm using a light shade of gray that fades out to a dark. So I'm going to head to the center of my document. While holding down my shift key, I'm just going to click and drag out. Now another reason why we're using a gradient versus a solid color is because what a gradient will do is, since it has a different color variations here, what it will do is as it loads across the screen, it will also give it more of a motion effect. So let's go ahead and add our text in there. Let's create another new layer. Hit T to bring up our text tool. I'm using the font size of 48, and then just go ahead and type in loading here, making sure that the text is white, and move this up to the center. And then we can use our arrow keys to bump it down if we need to create it exactly in the middle. Now one more thing I did to the last animation that I showed you guys was I created a little border on the inside here so that it isn't so plain. So what we're going to do is double click on our layer 1 option to bring up our blending modes, and then we're going to head to an inner glow. I'm going to set my blend mode to normal, my opacity to 100%, and my color to white. Now you can vary the color, the opacity, the choke, and the size to get different effects. But for now I'm going to leave it like that. So let's go ahead and click OK. Alright, now let's go ahead and create our little animated effect. The first thing we want to do is create a new layer down on our animation bar. We're going to head back to our frame 1. We're going to make sure we have our layer 1 selected, and with our pointer tool option used, we're going to hold down our shift key and then just drag this off the screen to about the edge, like so. From here we're going to head to our second frame. We're going to continuously make sure we have our layer 1 selected, and then using our pointer tool while holding down the shift key, we're going to drag this back onto the screen like so. Now from here we're going to hold down our shift key and then click on both frames. And then we're going to head down here to add a tween. Our tween option is basically these 4 little dots in a row here. Now this is basically what's called a motion tween. If you have any experience with such programs as Adobe After Effects or Flash, you'll know what a motion tween is. Now what a tween basically does is it will fill in certain areas. So for example, since we're creating a loading bar, we only have 2 frames. One frame is it's not there, and the second frame it is. So what creating a motion tween allows you to do is it'll fill in those extra frames there and make it look like it's actually loading across the screen. So for this, we're going to make sure we have all layers selected. Now frames to add is a very punctual part of this animation. So the more frames we include in this, the faster the animation will load. And then the less frames we create, the slower it will load. So I'm going to add 50 frames to this because it's a very general speed, like so. And then if we go ahead and down here and click play, you'll see that our loading bar animation pops up, and while we kept the text white, it blends in with the background until the gradient flows over it, giving it more of a drop look. So let's just say you don't want to continue it forever. What we do is head down here to our forever option, click our down arrow, and I'm going to select once. So if we click play again, you'll see that it stops after 1 rotation. So anyways guys, there's a really sweet way to go ahead and create a basic loading bar effect. Now how you want to save this is you head to File. We're going to head to Save for Web and Devices. We're going to make sure we have our GIF option selected. And as our preset, we're going to make sure we have GIF 128 no dither selected, and then click Save. And then I'm just going to save it in any document you want. We're going to go ahead and name it loading bar, like so. And then if we minimize our Photoshop document, we bring up our animated GIF, and then we drag it into our Firefox option. You'll see that it loads within Firefox, and there it is. So anyways, guys, I hope you enjoy this tutorial. It's a really sweet way to create a loading bar animated GIF feature. So please remember to rate this video thumbs up, thumbs down, whatever you think it deserves. But other than that, guys, take it easy.